Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network channel on YouTube. I'm your host, Mr. Prime Real Estate, Ric Davis.
And I'm your host, the Texas Real Estate King, LarryWBrooks.
Every week, the King and I will provide you exclusive access to our network of lenders, investors, and real estate professionals from both the commercial and residential real estate sectors.
Now, are you millionaire minded? Or maybe you're a millionaire in the making. Make sure that you subscribe so you can get connected to the network. And always remember, the Prime Real Estate Network, where millionaires in the making.
Create wealth for generations.
What's up, Prime Real Estate Network listeners? It's your man, LarryWBrooks, a.k.a. the Texas Real Estate King. Hey, when you get a moment, go ahead and go over to shoplwb.com. You can see the Pure Hustle merchandise that we have over there, some of our newer items that we have in stock, and of course, I got all the books that I've authored. I'd love for your support. You have a great day.
Good day. Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. I'm your host, Ric Davis. If you don't follow me on social media, I invite you to do so at Prime Real Estate Ric. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in residential or commercial real estate anywhere in the great state of Texas, but especially here in our city of Houston, you can reach me directly on Instagram at Prime Real Estate Ric. As always, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you this week, and we have a really exciting episode planned for you all. But first thing, I invite everyone in our audience, get involved in the show. If you're watching us live on YouTube, get into the comments section, send a relevant question, and maybe myself or the Texas Real Estate King may very well answer your question on today's show. Hey, today is a great week here at Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm. We're really excited because this Saturday, October the 21st, we're hosting the Mapping Your Way to Homeownership Real Estate Summit at 9 a.m. Central. We're going to talk about that event, some other really exciting events we have coming up on the Brooks & Davis calendar. But I want to make sure I introduce my co-host. He is not only a highly successful real estate broker, a multi-time author, serial entrepreneur, and the proud proprietor of Pure Hustle clothing brand. I want to thank him so much for sitting in with us this week. And I'd like to introduce to our audience, the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks. How you doing?
Hey, I can't call it, Rick, man. Having a beautiful day, man. The weather's nice. The season is right. You know, we getting ready to go into this the summit. So, you know, that's always a good time. The energy level at the office and around the real estate industry is really, really, really exciting. So, yeah.
I mean, everyone who's tapped into the Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm IG page, people that's tapped into your page, my page, and those who just follow our brokerage as a whole understands that this Saturday is one of the highlights of our Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm social calendar, and it's the Mapping Your Way to Home Ownership Real Estate Summit. We do this every year. We get such a really exciting and great turnout, and we're able to help so many families learn not only what it takes, but also get the ball rolling on buying their first home. So in your experience, Mr. Brooks, because of course you've been at these summits since the very beginning, could you just share a little bit about the Mapping Your Way to Home Ownership Summit and what you've seen the benefit has been for so many members of the community that's come over and had a chance to take advantage of those opportunities to meet those people?
Yeah, man. You know, Rick, what I really think stand out about it is that people get to come in and you get to understand the knowledge. So right now, your credit might not be perfect, or right now you may not have the down payment that you think that you have. The one thing about attending an event like this here, you learn your buying power, which means buying power is the ability of how much home you can actually afford, monthly notes and things like that. You also get an opportunity to understand the down payment assistance programs that are offered all over the city, all over the state. You get an opportunity to walk in the room and understand where those programs are located at. And you get an opportunity to understand how to fix your credit, how to get your credit strengthened in order to purchase a home. So that's something that stands out as well. And so I've always just found that this event is amazing for the community, and it's amazing for those that are out that are looking to help people get better and get into home ownership right now.
And you know, on top of that, because of course those are outstanding reasons, I want to make sure I urge everyone in the audience to stop out this Saturday, because these are going to be one of those rare times where if you have a unique residential real estate question, if you have a unique
Mm-hmm.
circumstance, if you are a member of the voucher program, if you have been recently divorced, if you've gone through a recent credit challenge, and
Yeah.
you feel as if your situation isn't that run of the mill cookie cutter situation that every real estate professional deals with every day on a regular
Mm-hmm.
basis, this is
Mm-hmm.
the event where you can come out, speak to someone like myself, Mr. Brooks, and talk to them specifically about the nuances and the
Mm-hmm.
specificities of your particular situation and how we can work with you to help you find your desired home. So if you need somebody to be able to talk to you for 15 minutes and half an hour, this is the situation where people have carved out this part of their morning to specifically talk to members of the community about their specific situation. No question is too small. No situation is too unique. So please take advantage of that opportunity to have that one-on-one tutelage with a true professional
Yeah.
from Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm.
And I want to urge everyone that's listening, that's having an opportunity to come across the podcast, please share. And in the
Yes.
download in the comment section, if you're excited, I want you just to put a hand up. I want this thing to go out there and touch as many people as it can. So if you've ever been involved in a conversation of home ownership, rental, whatever that looks like, just share it with a friend. Share it on your page. We want to get this out there for the people.
And you know, the great thing about that, Larry, is that we try to share this message, but there have been so many members of the Brooks and Davis real estate firm family that have been sharing the flyer on their social media. If you've seen an advertisement or a promotion, understand we are inviting you specifically and everyone around you. So feel free,
Mhm.
share, like, call, email, text, let everyone know about what's going on. And
Yeah.
that's why Larry and myself are so excited about not only the event, but the guests we have this week. So,
Hmm.
Mr. Brooks, could you just share with our audience a little bit about the background that you have with this week's guest, how we were able to gain her commitment, and why we're so excited to have her sitting in with us this week?
Yeah, man. You know, Rick. Here's the thing. Over at Brooks and Davis, we have some amazing realtors, and the organization itself is in a growth phase. And so today's guest is actually a member of the five-star team. And as we've spoken before, and have we've had so many different members of the five-star team that are alumni of the Prime Real Estate Network. She is another one that's taking her business to the next level. The way that they're growing, the image you probably have already people have probably already bumped into them on social media, and I'm sure they probably already know who our guest is today. But if not, we're gonna reintroduce her to the world, and we're gonna bring her into the Prime Real Estate Network alumni family. So that's how we got her, man.
Without any further ado, I'd like to introduce this week's guest. She is not only one of the top producing agents of the five-star team, she's also one of the most visible real estate
Mm-hmm.
professionals here in the city of Houston. I want to thank
That's
her
what.
so much for her time. She is a residential buying expert. So if you're
Mm-hmm.
checking us out, get in the comments with these questions. I want to thank her so much for sitting in with us. And I'd like to introduce to the Prime Real Estate Network audience, Miss Vanessa Soto. How are you?
I'm doing good. Hey, how are you guys
Hey.
doing?
Now, first things first, for everyone in our audience that are meeting you for the first time, Vanessa, please not only introduce yourself, but talk a little bit about your real estate practice, your real estate brand, and the type of services you provide to the community.
Yes. So, as they mentioned, I am a part of the five-star team. I've been a realtor for about a little over 2 years now. I
Okay.
do specialize in residential and new construction. So, I have taken over the new construction route, and it has been absolutely amazing. As we discussed earlier, there's so many benefits to the new construction route, and there's so much to learn in there too, and lots of negotiations, lots of room for negotiations. So, yeah, I love what I do. I'm very passionate about real estate overall. I also am passionate about working and serving my clients.
Good, good.
The thing about following you on social media, Vanessa, that I've been so impressed with is how the foundation of your message online is inspiration and motivation. How you can get people from off the sidelines and you can motivate them to reach out to you and get involved. Is
Hmm.
it that something that you've worked on over time as a real estate professional, or is that something naturally that you've been able to just attract people to you and have them to gravitate towards your message?
I just love how you say that because that's the first time anyone's really caught on to that. But yes, I love motivating and inspiring. So throughout my career in real estate, I really had to ask myself, how can I combine my personality with my business, right? Like how can I make that into one? I didn't want to be your typical real estate agent who spoke about real estate because naturally I am someone who loves to inspire other people. So I find a lot of clients of mine who come to me, they come to me seeking not only guidance but also inspiration. So the fact that I'm able to do both is really neat for me. So in a sense, it is more of a natural thing, but I love that I was able to combine the two because that's the kind of clientele that I've been able to get.
Yeah.
You know, Mr. Brooks spoke earlier about how he's inviting people to come out this weekend, get pre-qualified, find out how much buying power they have in the market. How much of a challenge have you found, Vanessa, it is to have people feel comfortable to come out and just see what it is that's available to them? Have you found
Hmm.
that with the interest rates and some of the things that people are seeing on the news, do you feel that there's a lot less confidence in the market as far from a buying perspective? And what type of things do you do to get people confident enough to come in and get pre-qualified and see what's out there for them?
Well, I will say that the confidence in the buyer side is pretty low, right? The
Mm.
first thing that I get asked immediately is, how are the interest rates? That's the first question that I get asked, right? But I will say that I think that how I'm able to really get these clients to come out is by doing just that, just reminding them that doing something as simple as just showing up and just seeing what's out there. I
Yeah.
find that a lot of clients or a lot of potential buyers tend to think that if they come to us, we're going to make them sign some kind of paper right then and there. So I just remind them and continuously remind them throughout the entire course of our conversation that I'm not going to make you sign anything. This is just me wanting to help you get a better understanding of the situation. As you mentioned before, we deal with so many situations. Honestly, it's you're not the first or the last one, right? And as agents, we see so much out there, right? So to be able to sit down with clients, one of my favorite lines I get from a lot of clients is, "You just gave me some hope." I love that. I love that.
Right.
I love that they tell me that I gave them some hope because after hearing their story, I tend to tell them, well, you know what? I don't think that you're that off. You're actually kind of closer
Yeah.
to homeownership than you think. As a matter of fact, let me take you down this path to see how this looks. And they start working with numbers. Then they're like, oh, that's not that bad. And so that's
Yeah.
whenever I kind of start luring them in and they start changing their mind after a while because they're like, oh, it's not as bad as I thought it was. So to
Yeah.
me, it's just a matter of just, taking your time with the clients. Nowadays, that's just what you have to do. Just take your time with them, educate them. That's very important. Just be patient with it because really that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
You,
Yeah. So Vanessa, let me ask you this: how do you come? I know dealing with new clients, how have you been overcoming this statement? The very first question that they ask you when it comes about the interest rate. So what's usually your rebuttal when they say, well, the interest rates are high? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
Have you considered new construction?
Hey, because why? Because right now, new constructions is actually working on buying down rates on the back end for people,
yes.
right?
Right, right. I've been
Yeah.
I've been able to get majority of my clients 5% rates just off of going into, mind you, we're at 8 right now. So, to
Yes.
get them to that 5% rate. But ultimately, let's get down to the real question here. Why are clients really concerned about the rate? Because of the mortgage, right? But one of the
Mm-hmm.
things that I also tell people is sometimes, when it comes to that mortgage, you can really play around with those numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So let the loan officer do its thing. You won't really know unless you actually take the time to actually speak to a loan officer,
Mm-hmm.
apply, do whatever it is that we need to do to move those numbers around. Because in some
That's right.
cases, I must admit, there have been some cases where it's worked out better that they took that rate, but they put a larger down payment or they took the price of the house off. Whatever the case may be, it all depends on what that client's specific needs are.
Yeah.
But most of the time, if it is interest rate, then yes, I will say let's go new construction rate, and we can get you as low as 4.95%.
Yeah. Okay.
One of the things that you mentioned, Vanessa, that I've really been impressed with, and I want people in our audience not to undervalue, is that you're a residential and new construction specialist. You're an expert as far as what's going on in the new construction realm. And for those in our audience that aren't real estate professionals, the benefit for them working with someone like yourself is that you know what's going on and where the most generous incentives are, where you've developed relationships with those sales counselors in those different communities. And most importantly, you can keep your clients up to date with what's going on as far as available inventory. So, could you just share with our audience some of the things that you found and some of the most generous incentives that people may not know about that are also out there for people that's looking to buy before the end of the year?
Yes. So because we are in the market that we're in, as you know, interest rates are high, right? So these builders are currently just giving out these incentives because they want you to buy them. So they
Right.
have a ton of money to put out. So depending on where you go, which is why whenever I sit down with clients, I like to get very personal. Because if you tell me that you care about the price of the home, I'll cater to your specific needs. If you tell me that you want interest rate, I'll cater to that. Now, if you tell me that you're okay with all that, but you just want some money to, upgrade on your house, I'll cater to that as well. So they're giving away anywhere from 10 to 20,000, sometimes even 30,000, depending on the builder that you go with. So you can play around with that money. So you could use it towards buying down the interest rate, towards taking the price of the home off, or you can use it for upgrades, meaning that if you want something some pizzazz in your house, they'll help you do that. So it all depends upon what it is that you're requesting, but they want you to come. They want you to go in there and buy from them essentially. So in my opinion, this really is a great time to buy because of those incentives. It really does help.
You've done such a outstanding job of not just illustrating the value in working with you, but I think your passion and your energy also is something that everyone in the audience will be able to notice after this interview. Larry and I like to always give our audience some perspective and background on our guests that they may not have previously known. So, for the members of our audience that are meeting you for the first time, Vanessa, could you just share with them what you did professionally before real estate, before you decided to become a businesswoman and an entrepreneur? And what was that tipping point that motivated you to take the plunge and jump into this profession?
Okay, so I had no sales experience prior to this. Okay,
Okay.
none at all. I had no idea what I was doing. So I was just going crazy my first year. I didn't know what was happening. But prior to this, I was working at a clinic. And what really made me just kind of go towards real estate was I've always been a people person. And I must be honest. I know this sounds a bit cliche when I say this often, but I do love helping people. So I always knew that whatever route I decided to take, it had to involve me being of service to people because that's just where my passion lies. Now, did I think that selling houses would be it? No. But as I got into the field, I began realizing that this is more than just selling a house. This is somebody's. This is a big deal, to these clients. I mean, they're spending a lot of money. It's a big investment. So once I started changing my perspective on it, is really when I began to really get more passionate about it. And that's when I decided to go full time in real estate. I quit my job, did the whole thing, and I just really started leveling up from there. It's been a long, rough journey, although it's been 2.5 years, but I really put a lot of skin into getting my business where it is now.
I appreciate you for being so transparent and so candid because when people meet you, especially in a professional setting, they may not necessarily value the evolutionary stages that you've gone through to get to the point where you can be an entrepreneur, a business owner, while at the same time maintaining that sense of wanting to educate and help the community. Because as real estate professionals, we all know that this is a labor of love. And at the core, we want to go out there and help everyone in the community do exactly what it is that they have as far as goals of finding building of their first home or buying an apartment complex. We're here to help people make their goals a reality. So I want to thank you so much for what you do. And I thank you so much for sharing a little bit of your backstory with our audience, because now when they follow you on social media and they see all the good stuff and they come out and they shake your hand, they can understand that you at one time were new and had to develop your skills and get outside your comfort zone. Do you have any advice for someone that may hear your story and feel as if they're sitting in the same seat that you were sitting in 3, 4 years ago, and they may not necessarily have the confidence or the sales background to think that real estate could be for them? Is there some advice that someone gave you, or do you have some advice for someone that's sitting in that same seat?
I would say that my biggest advice is find your passion in it, right?
Mm,
Because
Mhm.
honestly, and find your why, right? Because if you tell me that it's money, it's not enough, in my opinion.
true.
You have to genuinely love what you do, love working with people, find your niche, and once you get really passionate about it, only then will you begin to start really involving yourself more, start really investing in yourself more, right? Also, I would say the sooner that you realize that you must treat this as the business that it is, the better off you'll be. That's an advice somebody gave me when I first started off, because they often tell us, "Oh, you're just a salesperson." The reality is you're really not. And if you're really
Yeah.
doing your job right, you're not only a salesperson, but you're a therapist as well. And you're all of the above, right? You're all of
And
the
your
above,
best
right?
friend. Yep.
And your best friend for those 2, 3 months, or you could be
It's-
somebody's worst enemy for those couple of months. You never know,
yeah.
right? But for the
Yeah.
most part, I like to think that you'll become their best friend, right? Because I like to say that I like to pick and choose my clients just as much as they pick and choose me, right? Also,
That's right.
don't be afraid to turn people away. Not all money is good money. You want to keep
That's
loving
right.
your job, and if you can't be of service to that person, hey, the best thing that you can do is just, you know what? It's okay. We can go from
Yep.
here. I'll refer you here. Whatever the case may be, I just find that when we
I
start
agree.
this industry, and this is just me keeping it real, because I find that not a lot of people talk about that, right? You want to keep loving what you do. And so I would say just get passionate about it and get real about it and start going out there and really networking with people and asking the right
Hmm.
questions. Don't be
Yep.
afraid to push yourself out of that comfort zone, because honestly, staying complacent is not where you're going to find it. It's just not.
You
That's
know,
true.
with you sharing so much about how you look at your business practice and your background, I have to ask, because Larry and I have had the great opportunity to interview so many really successful entrepreneurs, and I want to ask you the same question we ask them every week. When you think to your upbringing as a young lady, were there any members of your family or close personal circle that were business owners or entrepreneurs? And if so, how did they serve as a motivation or inspiration for you?
I will say my parents. My parents have been hustling their entire life,
Right.
so they have been grinding it out. So for me, to see them do that, wake up every day, whether they're sick, whether they're tired, whatever the case may be, to see them always get up every day, and that was always inspiring to me. So I have this really bad habit where I don't know how to stay still, and that's thanks to them, but I love real estate because of them, right? Because it gives me that go. I always told myself I don't want anyone giving me a fixed salary. I want to be able to decide how much I want to make for myself. And so real estate was a perfect opportunity for me to do that. So I will say my parents, they have inspired me, and I just tell them that every day, that they're the reason why I still have this go-getter mindset, this go-getter, attitude and
That's,
heart that I have. I have this heart of a hustler, and it's all thanks to them.
and my
You know,
grandmother used to call that idle hands is the devil's workshop. So
right.
people always ask me about that as well. So I'm always busy. I'm always doing something. I'm always active. But my grandmother used to be like, "Nah, idle hands is the devil's workshop." Meaning, when we were kids, if you didn't have anything else to do, you found a way to get into trouble. So it was one of those things that planted a seed. Now, as an adult, she always kept us busy, playing football or cleaning up around the house, yard work, whatever it was. She kept us busy. And so now as an adult, I stay busy just doing something, right? So staying active, doing the proper thing. So that's what it was called. The idle hands is the devil's workshop.
No, and look, and that's a perfect segue, Larry, because speaking of staying busy, Miss Vanessa has a very busy networking and social calendar coming up for the next couple of weeks. So,
Uh-huh.
Vanessa, outside of appearing with us at the Real Estate Summit on Saturday, October 21st, could you share with our audience about another upcoming event where you'll be speaking and headlining, and so that we can invite all the members of our audience to your next event after that?
Yes, so I do have a brunch to learn that I'm actually very excited about. That's coming up on October 27th. So as we all know, as we just discussed, this topic will be about inspiring. So the topic is Fear and Perseverance, where I myself will be on the panel along with a colleague of mine, and we will just be discussing this topic. I'm so excited because this isn't just catered to real estate professionals, but to anybody who's up and coming or established or just looking to be inspired. It's been a long time coming, and I'm very excited to be able to really get personable with other people, other entrepreneurs, other agents about what the struggles that I went through, how I had to push through those times that I didn't even know if I was going to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Because sometimes we don't know. As entrepreneurs, we're like, well, I don't know if I'm gonna make it to the next month, but we're gonna see how
That's
it
right.
goes. I can't tell you how many times I experienced that my first year. So I just want to be able to share that with other agents because oftentimes I find that we feel so alone. I felt so alone my first year in real estate. I felt like
Yeah.
I was the only. I'm like, am I the only one going through this? Why does everyone look like they're
Right.
just proceeding their first year and I'm just going
Yeah.
through this? But the
Yeah.
truth of the matter is that we all fight our silent battles, and I
Hmm.
feel that if we had more people, more agents coming out with their truth, I think I would have been a little bit more inspired myself. So I
Yeah.
want to be able to do that for somebody else who's going through those silent battles. Not everyone talks about them, but I want to be able to just share it. And my hope is to be able to touch somebody's heart.
The unique thing about your brunch and learn, and I was really impressed about this, and we talked about this before we started today's show, is that traditionally in real estate, we would go out and we would provide what is called a lunch and learn. And a lunch and learn it's I've learned in my experience that a lunch and learn puts those that attend in a certain mind space of learning and education, and it's a little bit more buttoned up and serious. But the five-star team, you ladies host what is called brunch and learns.
Yes.
Now, have you found that since you're hosting brunch and learns, the people that show up tend to be a bit more relaxed and receptive? Because if
Super
so, I would
relaxed.
like to be able to use brunch and learns when I step out as well.
I just think that, one of the things that the five-star team and I are very adamant about is making sure that people show up and have a good time. So that's the one thing that even our buyers, we call it a buyer mixer. So it's not we don't want you to just go in there and just think you're going to sit there and just as a buyer just sit in front of a screen and just go through slides and learn about the wine. But we want to call it a mixer, have some drinks, relax, get to know us, because I think that one of the things that I've learned is oftentimes buyers or other new up and coming agents, they become intimidated to speak to us, right? We don't see it because we're on that other side of the screen and we're just like, what? I'm just a
Hmm.
human. But they're like, I'm so scared to get, to even approach you because you might make fun of me because my credit score is so low. And, we're over here like we deal with it every day. So, why would you be ashamed of that? But, I just want we want to be able to express that to people. Hey, you can come over here and talk to us. We're just as human as you are. Been there, done that myself. We had to learn how to, how to navigate through that too. So it's okay. And the brunch and learn is the same experience. When agents come, they're like, ooh, brunch, mimosas, and they're eating and they just so much more relaxed. That's the environment that we want to create.
No,
Yeah.
Larry,
Yeah.
I promise. Me and Vanessa had an entire conversation before we started recording about the difference between a brunch and learn and a lunch and learn. So that's
Okay.
why I
Okay.
definitely wanted to ask her publicly if that's something that we could implement as well, because that brunch and learn just seems like a great idea that should have been so top of mind that I'm glad that there's someone under the Brooks and Davis banner that's actually implementing that, because I think that's a super cool concept.
It's fun. When you think of mimosas, what do you think of? You think of fun.
Hey. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I enjoy a good point setter myself, no doubt about it.
Hey, a pre-weekend brunch and learn, like on a Friday.
Exactly.
That's outstanding. So, Vanessa, for the members of our audience that just have totally fallen in love with your energy and want to be a part of your movement and everything that you're doing, could you share your social media handles with everyone, please?
Yes.
Yeah.
So my Instagram is realtor_Vanessa with one S. My Facebook is Realtor Vanessa Soto. You can find me on there, honestly, or you can just reach out to me on both platforms, and I'd be more than happy to set up a consultation with you. Our brunch and learn will be hosted in Pearland. It's October 27th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. If you go to my social media and follow there, I do have the links and the flyers there so you can get more information on it.
You know what?
Thank
Send me
you
that.
so much.
DM me that flyer too, Vanessa. DM me
Okay.
that flyer. Yeah, when you have time. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Vanessa, man. It's been a pleasure sitting in with you. Larry and I have
Yes, it
had
has.
just an outstanding time asking you a bunch of pointed questions that I hope didn't make you uncomfortable or come out of left field, because having your energy on the show, I think, is something that all the members of our audience will benefit from. And you
Yeah,
shared
yeah.
some very invaluable information and nuggets that I'm sure people can implement and help to change their life. So anytime you want to sit in with Larry and myself, just text us, DM us, give us a call. And I would like to ask you that if in the future you would consider sitting in with us as a co-host, that'll be great too, because I'm sure everyone in the audience would like to see you again sometime.
I really would. I would love it. That'd be so much fun.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you so much, Queen. If you ever need anything, Larry and I are here again, and we look forward to speaking with you soon.
Thank you,
Yes, thank you
Vanessa.
for having me.
Thank you. Bye bye. Come on, Larry. That was a great episode, man. And it's a great way to kick off the Real Estate Summit weekend, man. I'm
Yeah,
really excited to have Vanessa, the five-star team, and everybody that's going to be there with us on Saturday at 9 a.m. Hey,
yeah,
I urge everyone, stay tapped in, follow the Texas Real Estate King, follow
yeah.
Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, follow myself on Instagram, like, subscribe, share this episode, man. Come out on Saturday between 9 and 12, man. So,
Yeah.
look,
And
man.
for the people that are out there, even the general public or affiliates of Brooks and Davis, man, share the information. You know, at the front, we're going to be capturing information. We're going to find out where people came from. How did they hear about the summit? So I want you to tell people to get to your name is John. Tell them, hey, John sent me to the summit. You know, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be also rewarding people that can get the most people out there. So I think that y'all should do it, man.
Thank you so much. Now, of
Yeah.
course, Mr. Brooks, we
Yep.
would be remiss if we didn't give a huge shout out to all of our friends, family, alumni, teammates of Stephen F. Austin State University. It's homecoming week in
It
Nacogdoches,
is. It
as
is. The Doach
always.
is where it's at. Yeah. Yeah.
And we
Doach is
all
always
know
going to be a
that
good view.
we always know that homecoming weekend for the Texas Real Estate King is one of the busiest weekends of your social year. So, what
Yep.
you got going on this weekend, man, that you can share
Man,
with the
I
audience?
man, that's really that's the biggest part of it. But you know, I am on Friday. I'm doing a tour of one of our commercial buildings over here at Arvo. It's over in Emancipation, Edo area. We have we have a small amount of space that's still left, and we're trying to get people to get into this building, get it occupied. It's a great area, close to everything. And if you're building out your business and getting the vision, this is the ideal time. So over here in the commercial market, man, we keeping things moving, man. We're still helping people out, finding locations and building business for people. So if you are inquiring, you have some commercial land, industrial, office space that you're trying to put on the market, you want to definitely reach out to me. So you have my contact information, reach out to me. Excited to help you out. But homecoming, man, you can never go wrong with that, man. Looking forward to it. I'm gonna be there. You know, hey, that's it.
Hey, man, big huge shout out to all the lumberjacks, lady jacks, the noops up there, man. It's homecoming is one of those times, Larry, where you get a chance to reflect on your past, but then at the same
Yeah,
time think about building towards your future, man. So, big
no
huge shout
doubt.
out to everybody at SFA, man. Any
Yeah.
final words before we sign off this week, sir?
Y'all have a good one.
Hey, look, on behalf of myself, Ric Davis, and the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks, we want to thank Ms. Vanessa Soto. We want to thank everybody at the five-star team. Big, huge shout out to the Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm team. Big, huge shout out to Jay Joseph with Milk and Honey Productions. Until next week, man, everyone in the audience, please be safe and be blessed.
Be blessed.